Welcome back to another episode of the Post Patrol. I am your host, Gunner the Runner, along with Ty, Adam, and Jules. How are we doing today, fellas?
Superfluous.
Just
Well,
are we just gonna do third grade vocab to describe our day?
Oh, that was at least fourth grade.
That
I went to
that was
I
a-
went to the dentist today. So
Oh
that might
hell
fix it.
yeah, Adam.
Not even the right use of the word. I just looked it up. It means unnecessary, especially through being more than enough. So I was unnecessary today, I guess.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So it was an unnecessary day. Got it, Ty. Fuck. Fuck it, I guess we're just gonna jump right into a date today, fellas. It's the MVP race. It's looking like 1962. With that being said, why is this fucking MVP race so fucking toxic?
We love toxic MVP races. Oh,
Ah,
We're moved by him.
so a couple things about the MVP race that why it's so irritating is because every FC, whether it's Luka, Shea, Jokic, or Wemby, has a somewhat of an interesting case to win an MVP, the MVP, but it's how you evaluate basketball and what is the most valuable thing. And because valuability not a consistent criteria set by the NBA, we don't know how the voters are going to be swayed at the end of the day.
mm-hmm.
So regardless of who you have as your MVP, I think you can bring up interesting points. Now, does that outweigh somebody else's? That's going to depend because of recent surges, consistency of the whole year, or impact or total PRA, whatever you value. That's what you're going to value at the end of it. But I think the MVP this year, I talked about it on my platform, is that it's good ultimately for the NBA because I can't remember a time where we had four players in a conversation who are relatively under the age of 30 outside of Jokic have still their athletic primes left or not even in their primes and that can carry the association for a number of years.
Yeah. No, you're right. That is the one part of this race that I myself am loving is that it's a lot of younger guys and looking to the future. I wouldn't say younger, I guess, like just entering their primes other than one, which is Wemby obviously. But Ty, what about you? What are your
I
thoughts
think
on this
Jules.
year's MVP race?
No, yeah, I think it's great to see it as competitive as it is this year. And I think the NBA was having a bit of an identity crisis last couple of years with LeBron, Curry on the way out, Durant on the way out. Everyone's wondering what does like the league look like without them because they've been the face of the league for so long. I think we're finally seeing. I think Wemby is the new face of the league, and I think it's good to see. And we're optimistic for the future of the NBA.
You, Jewel, or Ty, I'm just saying you know what, glaze Jules all you want, I guess.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. If you
Um,
agree with Jules, you can't be wrong. That's my method.
oh,
That's
damn,
that's your method.
damn, that is blazing. Damn.
I will say I think, and I said this on my platform as well, is that I'm happy along with this because it took a span of 5 years to finally understand that a non-American player is as good as anybody else on the face of the planet, because we came from Kendrick Perkins basically being borderline xenophobic from Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic saying they can't be an MVP because of where they were born, to now undeniably they're by and far and large, when they're healthy, of course, the best players in the league. And that shows real growth in a short period of time. That's where because I'm hearing Kendrick Perkins fucking glazed my team saying that they can go win a championship. But if this was 5 years ago and we were in the same predicament, I would probably have to hear, oh, well, Wemby's French and he doesn't have the intangibles of an American player to win a championship.
I hate Kendrick Perkins.
Jules just saying your
Oh,
team
he's a
is now
bum.
cursed because of Kendrick Perkins.
I know,
hey,
and it sucks.
Adam, what are your thoughts on this year's MVP race?
I think it's funny because we've all been on TikTok, and it's kind of like with the same thing with the old time debates. Like, it's like these fan clubs like just root themselves in this like cloak of like, well, my guy's the MVP no matter what, when you present evidence onto the contrary. But then it's like, dude, this guy doesn't know you. Why are you taking this like as a personal thing? Um, to the actual MVP race, I understand Wemby. I think his defensive impact alone, I think he vaulted himself into the conversation. However, I do think Shea should win. I think he should win. I'd say it by a good size margin. I think I've told Gunner this before. I think if I had 10 votes, I think 8 would go to Shea, and then you split, either give 2 to Wemby or you give 1 to Luca and 1 to Wemby. That's just how I see it.
Totally fair. Totally fair. I myself am just sick of the conversation. It's just gotten so toxic over the past month with all the recency bias between players and so on and so forth. I can, I can make a case for each one, but to me right now there's only two full-on strong cases, which are the strongest to me is SGA, but I can the second one is to me Wemby as well. It's really to me between those two, and I got Shea. But otherwise, the Luka fan club coming out of the woodworks because of the month of March and how the Lakers are performing in the month of March and his performances, but we'll forget what happened in December and January. Jokic's fan club starting to come back after starting off the season strong, and then February just being shit. And he's finally starting to wake up game wise, and they're now coming back out of the woodworks. I'm just not for that type of stuff, and it's just been getting too toxic for my liking. That's really all I have on the MVP. Let's move on, I guess. The Golden State Warriors. They were the 8th seed heading into March, if I was correct, right? They are now fallen down to the 10th seed. I think they secured their playing spot, but I don't know what this means for Golden State, especially since the Moses Moody injury and how that he's been really impactful for the Warriors this year, and losing him is a big part. They don't have him. They don't have Jimmy. Porzingis is going to be Porzingis. Me and Ty have seen it, Can Steph Curry carry a team to at minimum a second round? Ty, let's start with you.
Hell no.
Hell no. Just straight up hell no.
I mean, they're guaranteed pretty much the 10th or 9th seed. with how the Clippers have looked lately. So that would just grant them a first round matchup with the reigning champion Thunder, and it's just looking grim for them. Steph Curry era is, I think, finally coming to an end. But everyone was saying that before 2022, and look what happened.
I think we're fine. I think we're gonna have uncomfortable conversations when Steph wins his fifth. Right,
Very
Jules?
true.
We're gonna have uncomfortable conversations by a guy who's 14 inches taller than him. I'll tell you that, right?
Oh shit. Adam, what are your thoughts on the Golden State Warriors? And then we'll get to Jules.
Well, Ty said it best. No, it's over. It's time. If that is the case that they're facing the Thunder as their first playoff team, it's good night, Irene. Get the brooms out. Sweet, it's over. At this point, Steph Curry is no longer capable of, at this point in his career, being able to uplift a team that is like this, like shape to like heights of getting to like anywhere close to the second round. I am sorry. Um, this is just what happens when you run into the end of these dynastic cycles. When they rise, they look phenomenal. When they fall, it's quick and it is devastating.
Fair. Jules, with the Warriors, what goes on or what happens from here on out?
So a few things for the Warriors. Obviously, Steph not being there because of the runner's knee injury that kind of puts the offensive load onto Mr. I will soon get 30 points in a game, Brandon Brzezinski. Will Richard will now have to step into a role where I like Will Richard. I think he's a phenomenal player, personally. Shout out to the claps. And Guy Santos, who's been providing really good value for that Warriors team as well. And see, I've been coming off as like a Steph Curry hater this year. It's just more like he just there's to a point, and I've said this consistently, where I value games played, but it does come to a point where you gotta factor that in at somewhat, you know. And Steph just hasn't played the serviceable amount of games to put himself into, can this team be a sneaky second round team? I think Steph this year, and I've gone back and looked at it recently, still has incredible impact. And I was the same person that said and has said that he's like a one-half player. And I still hold true to that. But when he's at the age of 37, 38 years old, and he can give you a 20 and a quarter and end with 30 plus and a half, that completely helps his team get open looks and run their offense, and his impact is still undeniable. But if they somehow, by some way, get out of the play-in, and they're a 7th or an 8th, there is no way possible that Steph by himself is going to be able to push OKC or San Antonio to any types of uncomfortability because of how deep their rosters are. Like, Steph will go off. I think that Steph will have a good series against both teams. I truly do think that because of how he's still being able to, do these pull-up threes and just completely break coverages, breaking point of these defenses. But without Jimmy and without Draymond being a plus offensive player, or at least putting the ball on the ground and that kind of stuff, and like Gunnar mentioned, Chris Stapps is going to Chris Stapps. There's just no shot. I think they're just choking.
All right, well, let me do it for the memes, fellas. Let me do it for the memes. The Golden State Warriors beat the OKC Thunder in the first round. You know why? Jules?
Why?
Do you know why? There's one man on
No.
that team. There is one man on that team that is going to get a 30 ball. This during that series,
Oh my god.
just so DBD
Brandon Przemski.
gets a tattoo, baby, and he's gonna carry them out of the fucking first round because he's
Just
Brandon Pojemski.
Just so that our viewers know, there is a fellow content creator that we know that said that Pods will not get 30, will get a tattoo on him if that does happen. But ironically, might I add, is that during the same time that this bet did come in place, a certain Twitter account emerged. And the name of it is "Did Brandon Przemski score 30?" And once that game happens, not only does that person have to tweet, yes, but this person might also get a tattoo. Not saying this certain person owns this account, but it's just very funny that certain things happened at the time that they did. Just saying.
All I'm saying is it's gonna happen. And he's the carry job. I'm just upset with Steve Kerr for not using Pods more, as he's been able to go off in the first half and then he's uninvolved in the second half. What the fuck's going on, Steve? That's why you're a shit coach.
I will say, at this point, if Brandon Przemski scores 20 in 132 more games, he'll tie SGA's record.
That's true. That is true. Alright. Let's get into the Celtics and how this year was supposed to be a gap year. This is the greatest gap year it's been. A 50-win gap year. We're moved, right, boys?
100%.
Not enough suffering.
With that being said,
Us New Englanders have it rough.
that's true. That is true. We do have it rough.
Oh my gosh.
With that being said, Jaylen Brown last week was diagnosed with Achilles tendonitis, which usually leads to a potential Achilles tear. Tonight he's back in the lineup, and is starting tonight against Atlanta. What are our thoughts on the Celtics heading into the playoffs with this lurking against for or against Jaylen Brown? Adam, you want to start?
Yeah, I've had this thing with since the Durant injury. If you have some sort of lower leg injury that can affect your Achilles, please sit out and rest. Don't even try to risk it. I'm a little concerned since it's not even a calf injury. It's actually it's Achilles tendonitis, which is basically like the inflammation of that Achilles tendon. I'm not a doctor, so Gunnar, I don't know what's are they going to restrict his minutes, or are they just going to throw him out in the starting lineup
tonight they're throwing him out.
Yeah, he's playing mid-30s
Ooh.
tonight, it looks like, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I don't like that too much. I would at least, if I were Boston, you guys are going to be a top seed in the East, I'd rest him a couple games just to be safe.
I have a theory.
Go ahead, Ty.
Right before he sat out those 2 games, do you know how many games he had just hit on the season? Take a guess, Adam.
Oh shit.
He had just played his 65th game. And he's out for 2 days. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being optimistic, but I think he's just resting, and we're doing some load management for the playoffs.
Oh, this is a quote unquote Achilles tendonitis with air
Yes,
quotes.
exactly.
I gotcha. Okay. Boston's really getting creative.
Just like Giannis, right?
That's nasty.
Dude, well, I mean, I remember back I remember back in like the 2000s, at least, if they wanted their players to get rest, they would like say, "Well, he's got a sore ankle," or "Well, he's got a little knee soreness. He's feeling a little sick." But Achilles tendonitis, that's a new one.
Ah, Jules, what are your thoughts on this?
It is somewhat concerning if it is not an quote unquote fake injury, that it is an Achilles tendonitis, because we've seen people that had it immediately tear their Achilles within the same season, so it's very alarming. But as for Boston, I don't know how this affects you guys at all. In all honesty, because if Tatum is coming out as the rhythm shooter that he is, and still taking the offensive load as a Jaylen Brown, being supplemented as a way better rebounder, way better playmaker, way better defender, it kind of looks like you guys have the same exact success when Jaylen Brown is off the court when he is on. And Tatum proving in this game without Jaylen Brown that he's leading a better offense and more impactful player, like I have the Jaylen Brown club. It's like, yes, we don't want to throw Tatum into this role as a number one guy in the playoffs. We want Brown to do that. But if there's somewhat of a injury that does come up, like, worried. I'm not as worried as everybody else would be if it's a Tatum-led offense, or a Tatum/White slash Pritchard-led offense, because I think offensively Tatum isn't efficient in the playoffs. That's perfectly fine, but he does everything else well. Jaylen Brown this year has been a good scorer, but everything else has gone down. So it's like the vice versa of why they are so complementary to each other. But they can definitely survive without one another. So I don't think this hinders anything at all for Boston. I don't think I like, it does suck that another superstar has this scare. This doesn't weaken your guys' conference play at all. This is like, okay, just another thorn in the side. Let's just brush it off because we're the Boston Celtics and we have a whole bunch of these great role players that we can just blow other teams out by. I mean, you guys are winning against OKC. You guys are blowing out your Eastern Conference teams. Respect. It's just how Boston works out. Mazzulla is one of the best coaches in the NBA.
Yeah. No. Just because I'm watching the game right now, Joe Mazzulla is the highest winning coach percentage-wise in their first 4 seasons as a coach, just above Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson's at 704. Joe Mazzulla's
What was Steve Kerr at?
725. I think it includes.
Steve Kerr.
I don't know.
Heir to Warriors dynasty.
Nah, we're not moved. We're not moved by 2015. I think it includes playoffs as well.
Gotcha.
And just to be clear, bringing up the Celtics game, you guys are what, tied at halftime?
47-48.
No, 54-54. You're falling behind there, buddy.
Behind. How
Go
did I
live.
fall
You're
behind?
well
Shit.
behind.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
Wow.
But with Brown out of the lineup, you guys were leading. So again, this just shows that, like, Jaylen Brown is a really good scorer, and that's really cool. But your offense works better when he's off the court against a Hawks team.
Yeah. I think the win yesterday against the Hornets was the Celtics' best win of the year. I mean, we didn't have Jaylen Brown or Derek White, and Jason Tatum just looked like prime Jason Tatum. What he was doing as a playmaker and shooting the ball, it was very reassuring for Celtics fans, and should scare the rest of the league going into the playoffs. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, like, do I think that Tatum can maintain this pace of play? I will be the pessimist and say probably not. But I don't
Does he have
think
to?
that he needs. That's what I was gonna say. I don't think
Right.
he needs. Like that's what he was providing in the minutes restriction games that he has had. Shows that their offense is being able to be either led by a good Jaylen Brown, or when Jaylen Brown's off the court, a good playmaker, rebounder, or does everything you need in tangibles that doesn't show up in the box score in Tatum.
Mhm.
So having these role players step up, like Derek White, like Peyton Pritchard, like Nemes Keita, like Sam Hauser, like Jordan Walsh, this is why the Celtics are good. Like, this is why the Celtics can probably be the Eastern Conference team that comes out. It's because how scary Missoula is being able to maximize the role players. And I said this as a Spurs fan, to watch a certain coach for 25 years do the same exact shit, and we won 5 titles from it. If Missoula is doing the same thing as Greg Popovich can do, he is going to be an all-time coach, and he deserves to be there if he can do this on a consistent basis.
Yeah, for sure. Jules, I'm gonna let you run the Philly shit because I haven't really been following a lot of Philly as of recent, and I've seen they've been getting hot. What is going on in Philly for us?
So Philly, as of late, has been surging. I believe they won 7 of their last 10, and they're still in the play-in. However, the the trio is back. It's Maxey, it's Paul George, and Embiid. And through their last 10 games, the only losses that they had, mind you, Embiid and Paul George did not play in these games, was against Denver and OKC. They got blown out by these teams. And granted, these teams are just straight up better than Philly. But, I mean, they beat Brooklyn, okay. Portland is a good win. Stack and Utah, okay, whatever. Chicago, and then surging back against this Hornets team is really impressive. Very, very impressive. And with Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid basically dueling against the Heat right now, I think it's a 3-point game. There's been a lot of resurgence for the Sixers camp. So I guess the question is, can Philly be second team in out of the play-in? Because a lot of people think Charlotte's going to be one of those teams. Can Philly make a good series if they're against Detroit?
That's true. I'm not moved myself on Philly. Just blow it all up. Get rid of Maxi as well. Fuck it, we ball. You have no future anyways in Philly. That's how I see it.
Yeah, what's their like ceiling? Just with these three,
Second
this
round.
year. Yeah, like what's the like in this Eastern Conference where there's
Second
like
round.
really, yeah, when there's like it's so wide open, you're still like a second round team. Like what's your end goal?
Uh,
Embiid and Paul George aren't getting any younger. I'll tell you that.
No, Embiid's like just from watching him this year and the very few games I've watched him, can score with the best of them. But clearly his movement on the floor has been restricted. Like his knee is I don't think it's ever coming back to what it was.
yeah, I don't either.
And then of course you got Paul George, who he's no spring chicken either. He's been dealing with injuries, and also playoff P comes every single time in the playoffs. So it's like inevitably he's going to be a minus on the floor.
A part-time basketball player, full-time podcaster at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for the update on the Sixers, Jules. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Um, for all-time talks today, we're looking actually into the future. We're looking into 2029 with the Seattle Supersonics being back in the league, fellas, along with some Vegas team we do not know the name of yet. How happy are we that Seattle is back?
Yes. Yes. They're back. Go.
They are back, Adam.
Let's go. All I asked NBC to do, please host the first game. Please. We need like the just old intro. I don't care if they bring back like the old Sonics jerseys from the 90s just for like their home like standard games. Just please have NBC host the first game.
Yeah, I think they should.
So what's the how long do you like, I know this is like a premature guess, but on like how long do you think it takes Seattle to like get to be like a contender?
It depends on what happens in the expansion draft. Um, we could see a team like OKC decide, hey, we for me. Not saying it's going to be like a Chet Holmgren, because I do think Chet's still got better potential, but I could see a J Dub getting not being protected, even though I think J Dub's also very valuable to OKC.
How many players can each team protect? Like that's
Eight.
the
8. However,
Eight?
yes. However, OKC, because of their money situation, that's where it could get interesting with teams, and like I said, a J Dub could get dropped, or Chet, because of the money, and they don't want to pay that money. Sometimes they can get drafted to Seattle or Vegas, and could be almost, I wouldn't say contenders, but they'd be up there in the standings for sure.
so is one of the Western Conference teams moving to the East?
Most likely, it's going to be Minnesota, Memphis, or New Orleans. What's-
Memphis or New Orleans, please.
No, it's looking to be Minnesota because they're closer to the east.
Damn.
Which makes no sense. I think it should be New Orleans, but Jules, how happy are you that the Sonics are back?
Well, they were my first team, believe it or not. My family was, my mom's side of the family is from Seattle. Would talk about the Sonics a lot when I was younger, when I would go and visit. I'm pretty happy, like, because Seattle, believe it or not, is the mecca of West Coast basketball. A lot of people's favorite hoopers come from Seattle, regardless of all time or more modern day stuff. So having Seattle come back, the Sonics come back, is huge for not only me but the city itself, because they are a basketball city. Regardless of the Seahawks' recent success, the Kraken getting for hockey hockey team, the WNBA team, the Storm. They backed up Seattle for years.
Yep.
And this shows that, like, that Adam said it best. If NBC goes and covers Seattle for their first game back, it's going to be sold out and it's going to be loud. it's going to be obnoxiously loud. Like, it's going to be louder than any attendance, any home game that anybody's ever seen. It's because Seattle just loves their basketball. Now to the question, how quickly can they be competitive? That is definitely up in the air. And I don't think it's necessarily due to roster construction. It's going to be due to who's going to set the culture there. It's going to be the front office, who's going to be the coaching, who's going to be the head coach, and all this kind of stuff. Because if you can get some good minds behind a new franchise, we've seen in other expansions that teams can be competitive within 2 or 3 years. Most notably the Magic, when that they were landed the first overall pick in Shaquille O'Neal and then getting Penny Hardaway. But that comes with who's going to be at the helm and who's going to be talking to these, either young guys or whoever's coming in as the vets. Vet presence is going to be very important as well. But if they get taken over by inept front offices, it's going to be concerning. But I don't think that'll happen because Seattle will push for the best on the market because they want to be. They are technically a big market, so why not try to get a Mike Malone off the fucking couch, a good offensive-minded coach, and try to find a good executive somewhere. Like, I do think that Seattle's going to put up a good fight in the Western Conference in a very short period of time, and it's very heartwarming to see. And people have asked me before if I'm going to switch my teams to Seattle as being a Spurs fan. I don't think I can because the longevity I've had with San Antonio. But Seattle will be my second team. I will push Seattle agendas whenever I can.
I love that. I'm happy the Sonics are back. Honestly, like Jules, you were saying, for Seattle to be competitive, or even Vegas, because you can go either way. It depends on who's gonna set the cultures for either of those teams, for sure. We saw it in Scott Skiles with Orlando, setting the culture when they first came in. It also, like you said, it's all going to depend on management and staff as well. I'm happy. I'm happy that OKC is also giving back the retired numbers of Seattle, who played in Seattle before, and they're not keeping them as their own. I mean, OKC already doesn't have the championship banner from Seattle, as the city of Seattle kept it, and they did not take it because it was of legal stuff, if I'm correct, right?
Yes.
So,
I don't know, because my recollection of the Sonics, were they a hotbed for free agent talent pool back in the 90s and then in the 2000s?
Not necessarily. The best guys that I can think of that they got, in all honesty,
it's Finn Baker, but that was through a trade.
But did was Hersey Hawkins was he a sign-in, or was he like a free agent, or was he just traded there?
I thought that he was traded there.
Traded there too. It really wasn't a hotbed. They would get good role players, but it wasn't a hotbed destination.
And to be honest, to be fair as well, free agency when it first really started, wasn't a big thing up until obviously Tom Chambers leaving Seattle. So you could argue they lost free agency off rip. But like, there's been some guys. Technically, you can argue Gus Williams because he was a restricted free agent. How free agency worked back in the late '70s, early '80s was just very different than it is now. But in terms of free agency as is, they never were like the best at it, but they drafted really well. They were one of the better drafting teams in the NBA. So free agency, no. Draft, yes.
And I will also say this though: if the T Wolves move the Eastern Conference, this does help Ant out a lot. So a little bit under the radar, little help for Ant's
Adam,
legacy, I think.
This helps Rudy Gobert's legacy.
Even better, Rudy Gobert.
Let's talk
Because-
about it.
Because now, I would say they're one of the top 2 contenders in the East. I mean, they're what 4 or 5 in the West. Like, I think they are legitimate contenders in the East if they get moved. So, Ant's not having to deal with like a Thunder team or a Nuggets team in the second round anymore.
This would strengthen the East a little bit as well.
It would. My thing on it is I don't know if it helps Minnesota as a lot of people think it would because of how competitive the East starting to get. And collectively, comparing the two conferences, the Eastern Conference now, all throughout their play-in teams, are all over 500 compared to the West, even though it's 1 or 2 teams, it's still over 500.
Yeah, we're moved.
And if the Pacers come back next year, your Pacers, Adam, and they're as good as we think that they can be.
They're winning the title next year. Let's talk about
it. That's another, obviously, probably borderline, maybe 50 to 55 win team. So Minnesota, I think, is collectively going to be a good team if they move to the East. But I don't know if it's as a shoo-in as that a lot of people think. If the Eastern Conference starts to get better over the next 2 or 3 years, and Minnesota, move to the East, then I don't know if it's a shoo-in. I really don't.
And Gunnar Gobert will be 36 by the time Minnesota potentially moves to the East. He'll be retired. He'll be gone.
It's a joke.
Oh,
it's a joke.
He's a ball.
There's a joke. Our friend Mismatch is a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's the Rudy Gobert Glazer that you have never met in your life before, until Skeptics. If you'd met Skep, so that's the joke with the Rudy Gobert stuff. This helps Rudy Gobert's legacy because he's Rudy Gobert. In our fantasy league, just for your context, he took Rudy Gobert 3rd overall.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
What was his thought process? Blocks? Or he just...
No, Rudy Gobert.
Oh,
he was at work and he queued up Rudy Gobert.
Hand it to Mismatch. That's he is 10 toes down.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. So that's the big joke with it. Otherwise, yeah, it's gonna be interesting with the Wolves as well if you think about it, because Randall's in his 30s as well, or about to be. No, he is. He's like 30, 31, right?
Ooh. Yeah, and to be honest with you, thinking about it now, does Anthony Edwards even stay there by 2029?
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Because, like...
They're not putting shit around him right now.
Right, and, like, he's been kind of vocal about wanting to go back home and play in Atlanta.
That's true.
What,
It's,
Which,
Anthony,
like, that,
Anthony
that-
Edwards
yeah,
is the
but-
best player in franchise history.
right, and like we know, like Atlanta is literally the definition of mid. But by this time in 4 years, his contracts are going to be up, and we already saw their other franchise player leave and immediately win in KG. So why
Yep.
would, if they continue to be inept, would Anthony Edwards not become frustrated at the age of 28, 29 years old, leave if Minnesota hasn't done shit? Like, oh, you make 2 Western Conference Finals appearances back to back. That is absolutely great. But now I don't think Minnesota gets past the first round, and if they do, they're getting blown out by any other team they're playing, either Denver or San Antonio or OKC. So you're at a point now where you gotta change conferences, and if you change the conference, now the East is starting to get like Minnesota
This
being a
is
shoe
gonna
into
be
a
interesting.
conference finals. I don't know.
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
don't know.
They're reminding me a little bit of the Spurs. Not Jules. I'm not trying to take a shot at your Spurs, but the early '80s Spurs with Gervin, like they're
Yep.
they're running into the Showtime Lakers. Like basically that's what the Thunder, and then they got the Nuggets, who are the other team in the West that have just it's
You,
kind of just
And San
unfortunate for them.
Antonio.
it's funny you say that as well, because San Antonio used to be in the Eastern Conference. They
Yep.
made an
Yeah.
Eastern Conference Finals. They immediately switched conferences, made a Western Conference Finals, and then didn't do dick like during that time period. So like, why is it that we have to say, yep, Minnesota goes to the East, and Wolves fans are gonna like, yeah, we're gonna run the, because Boston right now is good. Detroit's only going to get better, and
Indy's
Indiana's
coming
going to come
back.
back with a surge. Yep. You could
Knicks-
probably argue, yeah, the Knicks may
no, they're
maybe
still
in-
frauds.
know
But
how they were. Yeah, I don't know how they will be in 4 years. Cleveland in 4 years is definitely going to not be there. Charlotte? Are we saying that they're going to be better than Charlotte?
A lot of these East
Like-
teams have a lot of have young cores too. So
And-
honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I can see Atlanta.
I was about to
Yeah,
say
and
Jalen
Gunnar,
Johnson.
that's what I was going to say too. If it does jump ship and goes to Atlanta, you got Nikhil Alexander-Walker, you got Okongwu, Jalen Johnson, you got Anthony Edwards. That is a really good young core.
Yep.
So Minnesota, let's just keep it a band. You're thinking about the here and now, and you're just thinking like, okay, we're a borderline 50-win team. We're gonna win probably 52 games, and we're just immediately bringing this roster right now to the future in 2029, saying, yep, we can make that. That's not how that works at all. No one's gonna stay the same age for 4 years.
Oh hell no. And what about fucking Pat Riley's fucking devil magic that he does just to get into the playoffs every single fucking year? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Not saying he's gonna be the owner anymore, but you know, it's like I'm never counting out Miami because of that shit.
So I'm just trying to I'm playing devil's advocate here. I might come off as a Timberwolves hater, but
that's
I'm just being logical.
No,
it's
yeah.
reasonable.
That's very reasonable. Yeah. Don't know why. I can't pull up Basketball Reference at the moment for some reason.
Well, also we have to think about this. Like Ants, like we're getting to what do you say? You'd be like 28, 29 for athletic shooting guard. He like his type of play style. Unless you become an elite like shooter, that's a very finite amount of years that you have before things start going downhill for you. So like he has to be aware of like, hey, I need to maximize my limited amount of time I have at my prime years.
Yeah. All right. we're gonna do champion. I got it up. So we're gonna do championship teams again. If I can get the other one to go. Do this one, and we'll do not that one. Yeah, we'll do this one.
Uh-oh.
All right. Are you guys ready for Team A?
Give it to us.
58 and 24 regular season. They go 16 and 4 in the playoffs. What do you guys want?
Are these champions or are these just
These are
playoff?
champs. These are
You did
champions.
just
What's their leading score?
20 a game.
20?
Yep. In the regular season.
20 game regular.
We'll go with playoffs 22 a game.
Oh.
So
Hi.
20 points as a leading scorer.
Yeah.
What was the record? 58 and 24?
Yep.
What
Offensive
was their
rating?
defensive rating?
Defensive rating or offensive rating? Or both?
Both.
109 offensive rating and 99.9.
What was the rating defensively like?
99.9 defensive rating.
No, like
where they rank? All right, second.
Yeah. Mm.
99.9, so that's probably a modern-esque 20 a game.
Ty, you got any questions?
no, nothing that'll help me.
Oh, I'm keeping this past 2000 for Ty's sake, as well.
Okay.
20 points a game after 2000.
I have a good. Okay, yeah, no, I know the scene. Okay.
Just let me know if you got any questions.
Conference finals. Where'd it go to?
What the conference finals go to?
Yeah.
5.
Oh.
I don't want to give anything away.
Damn. Jules doesn't want to be a team player again. Ty, maybe you should ask if there's a New Hampshire legend here.
Oh, you're nasty. You're gonna say no shot.
What'd you say?
I hate you.
Well, I know the team based on something you said. I just couldn't tell you the year.
What, New Hampshire legend?
No, what Jules said.
Oh.
I think.
No, it's
Ty, ask if there's a New Hampshire legend.
They're New Hampshire legend.
Yes, there is.
What's his name?
Manchester High School legend
Jesus
on this
Christ,
team.
dog. Holy glaze. Holy glaze.
Are we?
It's
good
from
to-
Manchester, though.
Are we good to move on?
I think so.
All right. Are you ready for the second team, Adam?
Yeah.
59 and 23 regular season.
Wait, one more time?
59 and 23.
Okay.
And they go 16 and 7 in the playoffs.
Leading score, please, sir.
Yeah.
Oops.
Their leading scorer is 20 points a game.
20.
Yep, in the regular season. The leading scorer is 24 in the postseason.
24. Ew.
Ew.
Yeah, to some people, if you score 24 a game, Gunner, you're not in heat talks. Anyways.
That's crazy.
Is it? You said 16 and 7?
Yep.
The 24 game. What's their offensive rating?
Offensive rating is 108. We'll round up.
Okay, so that helps a little bit.
What's the regular season record?
59 and 23.
No. Yeah, no. What was their net rating?
Net rating. I'm gonna round up again. It's a 9.
9.
You know what? 8.7 to be exact. 8.7.
Okay.
Wait, you said they went 7 games in the postseason?
Yep.
Like total? Like that's their
Yep.
losses? They won 16.
7. Yeah, 16 and 7.
And what's their leading score in the playoffs?
24 game.
No fucking way. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. No fucking way.
You know
Yeah, what?
Adam, since you're an advanced stats merchant now, right? You got a question for me?
What's the wrap up?
Of?
Actually, does this team have good lob radius?
Good lob radius. I would say. I mean, the guy would have good lob radius, but I don't think he was really catching that shit. I wouldn't say he's catching that shit. You know?
Do you think this team would have good D wrap them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Possibly,
I got it.
This guy would have one of the guys would be top 5 in Rapham, and arguably a top 5 player in the league.
What?
Yeah.
Are we good to move on?
Yeah, I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, I don't want to give anything away.
All right, we'll move
I
on.
fucking hate both of you.
Adam, who are these teams?
Okay. I don't know Team A, but if I had to take a guess, Team B,
Yep.
05 Spurs.
All right. Jules.
I don't know who Team B is, but Team A, I think it's the 07 Spurs.
Ty, who
Alright,
do you
dude,
think
just-
this is?
Oh,
I know
this is
Team
nasty.
A is the 07 Spurs, Manchester legend Matt Bonner. That Team B, I just assumed it was a Spurs team from some year because like identical stats almost.
What year?
And like I
was
don't know
it?
how many. What did Jules say?
Jules doesn't have a guess on
No,
team.
Adam, what'd you say?
05. He said 05.
I was thinking 05. I was thinking 05.
Tyler wins. It is the 05 Spurs
Oh,
and the
I was
07 Spurs. Top 5 player, known top 5 player in the league that year, Manu Ginobili.
I didn't. You know what? I didn't even think about the 07 Spurs because I heard 57 wins. I'm like, or I was like, or 58 wins. I'm like, damn. I thought the 07 Spurs won 57 games. I was like, damn,
I'm a nasty guy.
that's nasty.
Jules, what are your thoughts on Manu Ginobili, top 5 player in 2005?
That's
Fucking
why.
shut up.
That's why you picked that team. That's
I want to see which one you would pick.
Okay, I want this clip. Basketballers who think Manu's top 5 because of D-Rap, my dick. My dick.
Oh fuck, that was a good one. On that note, I think I'm good to end it. Fellas, you got anything else you want to add in before we end it?
Manu sucks.
And that's
Yeah,
coming from
Manu
a Spurs
sucks.
fan.
yeah. Manu sucks, and follow me on Twitch at Adam_TZ. Let's go.
Cook. Ty, you got
It
anything?
sucks, and so do the Spurs
Alright.
and the Pacers.
Hey. We're the champs next year. You guys calm down over there in Boston.
Alright. And on that note, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you for watching. Peace.